You know, they got a lot of fancy catchphrases for this, right? Because we're on the road to MegaClash, right? August 20th from the Raffola Center in Bridgeport. We're back. Blood, Sweat, Tears Wrestling is back, and it's presenting the biggest match in the company's history to date. Yet it feels like deja vu because October 18th, 2020, myself and Dustin Waller, we already had that match, didn't we? The biggest match in the company's history, 60-minute Iron Man match for that Blood, Sweat, Tears Wrestling Championship. And that night, Flash, you defeated me in the middle of that ring in overtime with a capacity crowd watching. They erupted when you pinned my shoulders to the mat 1, 2, 3 in overtime. That day, I extended my hand to you. I embraced you with a hug, and a lot of things changed. Hell, we spent New Year's Eve together that year, training in the ring because we bring the best out in each other, and I recognize that. But I don't forget. I don't forget that loss. I don't forget that night, because that night in front of my hometown crowd in Black Rock, Connecticut, I lost. And that night, a lot of things changed. I picked myself up by my bootstraps. I went down to the Lone Star State. I was trained by one of the very best in the wrestling business, with one of the most richest family pedigrees in the wrestling business. And you know what happened there? I became the very first. I came back and I went to Coliseum Pro and I became the very first. I went to PAPW, Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, and Paul Roma and Mara Mancini saw how good I am, and I am now their Intercontinental Champion. But something still burns deep, and it's that loss, because I don't forget what makes me tick. It keeps me up at night. Every time I look in the mirror, Flash, I know that you were better than me, and it makes me sick, because in true reality, on the grand scheme of things, the idea that you are the very best in professional wrestling in the Northeast today is a joke, because I am. But because I don't work like you, because I don't do what you do off the top rope, over to the outside, up, duck, dip, dive, and dodge, people disrespect me. People say that I suck. Do you know how much that eats at me? And not because I care what people think, but because I have a legacy to maintain. And he's 5 years old. My boy looks at me every time I come home bruised up, huffing. And he looks me in the eyes and he says, "Daddy, why do they hate you? Daddy, why don't they love you like I love you, Daddy?" I have to look at him and I have to grit my teeth and I have to tell him, "Son, people just don't understand what I am trying to do, because the passion will always be there. The passion will never falter. But I do this because I have a mortgage to pay. I have to put clothes on my son's back and gas in my wife's car to her to go to a job where she's underappreciated." And August 20th is not the end of the line. August 20th is not just the biggest match in BST history. August 20th is not just for the BST Heavyweight Championship. August 20th is about Lucas Chase finally earning his respect. And I will look at my son off the top of that ladder as I hold that prestigious title in my hands. And I will say that no matter what anyone thinks, says, or does to you, when your back's against the wall, by any means necessary, you get yours. See you at MegaClash.